This is biology enzymes. Enzymes are made up of proteins that are used to speed up, build, or break down a chemical reaction or molecules. Efficiency means you use lesser heat and friction. Basically, you're saving it. Cars, oil, shape, speed. This is common sense to anybody that likes cars. Induced, in this situation, means forced. Induced fit means to force, like induced, into the enzyme. Lock key is perfecto. And that leads to a substrate, and that is a substance that goes into the activation site. And here's your lock key that looks literally like Pac-Man, but it's just red. So here is the substrate going to enter in. This will not enter in. However, the substrate will enter into the lock key. Right here on this, whereas would be right here on this one, is called the activation site. It is an opening. Here's a chart representing the activation energy of enzymes. This is the product side on the y-axis, and then the reactant right here is on the x-axis. Here's your big I, and there's the activation energy right there. As you can see, it increases. Basically, the energy is adding up. Then it peaks. It tops out right at the top here, obviously. Then the activation energy decreases over time. And there would be your product. Chemical reactions are reactants, products, plus energy. Bonding means gaining energy. The energy needs to be exceeded. And it also needs to get the reactants connected to the proteins. And the negative would be the energy being gained or restored. Enzymes are responsible for a decreased activation energy. Breaking bonds is an exergonic reaction, while making bonds is an endergonic reaction. Here's also another representation of the adding energy and topping out, peaking, then getting your product. Take a little look at it. The top here is energy being added, and then right towards the product is the energy being released, which is obviously the product. There are two types of enzymes, competitive and non-competitive. We will start with competitive. The substrate and inhibitor are similar, and it stops the enzyme-substrate interaction, which is the inhibitor. And then now, non-competitive enzymes, the substrate and inhibitor are not similar. The inhibitor enters the alternate site, which is the bottom right of the Pac-Man, and changes the conformation of substrate activation site, which decreases the enzyme activity. The coenzymes are the inorganic material that can increase the enzyme productivity, unlike the non-competitive enzymes, and activate the enzyme. The allosteric enzyme, there is multiple activation and inhibitory sites. On the alternate between active and inactive due to the presence of substrate or the inhibitor. The shift from active to inactive is called oscillation. And then the negative feedback is basically the function of the output of a system processor mechanism is fed back in order to reduce product output. Basically to reduce. And there you had it. Boom. Bye-bye.